YouTube, what's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos. Shit. What's going on? What's going on? Hold on, y'all. I'm just pausing for a minute. I'm waiting for some people to get on, to come on my live feed here. Let me make sure it's working. Okay, I think it's working. Yeah, it's working. Nobody just ain't come in yet. But I hope y'all being safe out there, man. You know, coronavirus, I mean, it's if it is what they say it is, it ain't no joke. As I put some hand sanitizer on my hand. It ain't no joke. I was at this truck stop. Did the scanner work for you? Yeah, it did. I'm gonna talk about that. I was at this truck stop and I was buying something to drink, and I think I was buying like a hot dog or something. And like the lady in the next register, she was just putting out a case of these little hand sanitizers right here. And I looked over, I was like, hey, I've been looking for hand sanitizer, man. I've been looking for hand sanitizer everywhere. And I was like, give me about 3 of them. And they had like a little sign up there that said they only allow you to purchase 3 at a time. So I was like, man, give me 3 of them. They was like $2 a piece. So I got 3 of them. Cause I mean, it's hard to get your hands on this stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, usually when I go to a place and check in and start grabbing on stuff, you know, you walk into the shipping office, you got to sign paperwork. I just wear gloves. You know, I just wear some gloves until I get back in the truck. You know, because naturally, you know, we like to put our hands on our face, play with our nose, and you know, do that. we human, man. It's just you have no choice. You just do it. You know, you do that, and you get that stuff on your face, and you know. So, so I got these gloves here, and they kind of some kind of latex material. It's like mechanic glove, the jersey nylon material with the latex right here. And I'll just get I'll get my spray, and I'll spray the gloves down, you know, because even though you put the gloves on, when you take them off, you know, you start touching on stuff. Now you're bringing the virus into your truck, you know. And I'll just spray these gloves down. You know, this is some household cleaner. It's bleach, and I think it's Pine Sol. It's like bleach and Pine Sol, And you can get like Fabuloso and bleach. Um, because when you go to the grocery store, you really can't find anything in the grocery store that you go to Walmart, the cleaning aisle is empty. So you got to come up with ways to make your own cleaner, your own disinfectant cleaner. So bleach and water just be fine, or vinegar, but you need something to break up the bleach smell. You need something to break up the bleach smell. So you get like Fabuloso, Simple Green, um, some other kind of cleaner. Don't put dish detergent, because dish detergent will make, when you mix dish detergent up, it'll make it foamy. So trying to see what I got in my cleaning inventory. You can get some degreaser, bleach and water. You just put maybe 5 to 1. Mix it 1 part, 5 to 1, and put rest water and shake it up, and then and clean and disinfect your truck down. I mean, that's all you can do, man. It ain't really. It's that's all you can do. I mean, it's nothing really. It is what it is, man. It's nothing you can really do. So you gotta, keep, because I mean, the way that the news making this thing sound, man, folk dying from this thing, man. It's crazy. Folk dying from a damn flu virus. Crazy. But I mean, it is what it is, man. You just do your best and try to wipe things down. But yeah, let me talk about that scanner. Yeah, I got the scanner to do the regen. Okay, the scanner worked. Young Mart, if I'm saying your name right, young Mart V. Trying to find somewhere to put this hand sanitizer. I got the scanner to work. I read the book, and the book don't say nothing about pushing the clutch down. And if y'all want to buy the what a scanner at? Hold on, y'all. This the scanner. It come in a little box. It come in a little package. It's got a little manual with it. I don't know what I did with it. Maybe sitting up on the dash somewhere. It come in a little pouch, a little zipper, and it comes with the regular car connector that you could connect in the car, and then it comes with this adapter. And adapter does 6-pin and 9-pin. That's the 9-pin and that's the 6-pin, depending on kind of truck you got. And that pretty much covers most trucks out here. That's no matter what truck you got, that covers it right there. So I mean, it's I have to say it's a little glitchy. It's a third-party device, it's a little glitchy. It's the 5G towers. You think so? The 5G towers. Y'all a trip. It's a third-party device, For $180, it's a third-party device. It's a little glitchy, but it works. You got to fool around with it, because I can tell the computer in the truck, it wants to reject it. I can tell, because you gotta to do a regen, you got to go back and forth through the menus and keep trying the regen. Okay. And I can tell. And it is, but it works though. You know, it's for 180 bucks for a guy. If you own your own truck, I think it's something to invest in. You know, for 180 bucks, you can delete engine codes. It delete engine codes, no problem. You know, since I've had it for like two months now. Right when I first got it, I wanted to do a video on it, but I didn't know what to say about it because I ain't have it that long. But it's a good little handy tool for if you own your own truck, you know, because you don't want to be running to the shop every 5 minutes, you know. And before them people can even look at your truck, before them people can even touch your truck, a lot of times it's a long wait to even just get you in the shop for them to like diagnose it. And then it'll be a whole nother day before, because like any of y'all know what Freightliner and like some of these shops do. The independent shops, they don't do this. But with Freightliner, it's a two-step process. First, they'll bring you through the diagnostic line. They bring you in to do a diagnostic. They put your truck on a computer, and then they come back and tell you what you already know. You already know what's wrong with your truck, but then they come and tell you. Some shops, you can just bring it in and just tell them, hey, man, my truck, I know what's wrong with it. This, that, and the third wrong. And they'll fix it. I've had a couple shops do that. But then the big shops, the Freightliners and the engine shops, the Detroit shops, the Cummins shops, them big old, because they have a protocol they have to follow. They have a procedure they have to follow. It comes down from corporate. There ain't really nothing they can do about it. So they have to bring your truck in, do a diagnostic. They'll tell you what's wrong with it. Either you sitting in the driver lounge or you be at the house at a hotel somewhere. They call you, hey, man, this, that, and the third, this what's wrong with your truck. It's going to cost this much. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? Depending on the cost of the work, sometimes you have to put down a deposit. You know, if it's thousands of dollars, you're going to have to put down a deposit. You know, I had a shop had me put down a deposit on some work. It was like $1,800 to get some stuff done. I forgot what it was. They wanted to hold my credit card. They wanted to make sure they're going to get paid. They was like, who going to pay for this bill? Well, we need a credit card. We need something. So they held my credit card to make sure they was going to get paid. So you pull your truck in and then they pull it out. And then you got to wait for a mechanic bay to open up to actually work on the truck. So so that process, it takes sometimes a day or two, depending on the shop. Okay. But the Freightliners, the big name shops, they do that. And so a lot of times you just need a code cleared in the system. Maybe you just need a regen, or you just want to hook. If you got one of these, you can just hook this up to the truck, go through it, and be like, okay, this was wrong with it. This was wrong with it. Okay. It's got a little help menu in there. You can put the engine code in there, and it'll tell you, give you an idea on what it could be, a list of things. Or you can buy a service manual. You can get a service manual for your truck. You can get a service manual. For all my cars that I've bought, every time I buy a car, I always get the mechanic service manual, not the manual that come in the glove box. That's a different, not that manual. There's a service manual like what the mechanics use. It's got all the part numbers, and it tells you how long it takes you to repair a certain issue, or it has uh, procedures on how to replace stuff. You know what you should, you know, how to fix something. And so, you know, I've been meaning to get um, a Detroit repair manual. I just never got around to it. You're probably looking at about $200. Anywhere from about 100 to like $300, depending on where you get it from. Um, Service manuals for cars, they're a little cheaper, but I looked around for a big truck. You looking at about $200 to get a service manual for a big truck. And so my point is, sometimes like you can hook this thing up and it could be a sensor gone bad or something like that, and like and see, with this thing here, it's got live in it. So it allows you to see just about everything that a dealer level scan tool or a dealer mechanic see. Okay. It shows all the live stuff going on with the truck. And so you can analyze that data. And you can, you know, I mean, some of you guys are not mechanics. I'm not a mechanic. Maybe I am a mechanic. I've been fooling around with stuff since I was like 10 years old. I got 2-3 uncles in my family that are mechanics. Okay. And since I was a little boy, you know, I don't know everything. And I don't want to sit in this video and act like I know everything. But I'm technically inclined to fixing on things myself, you know? And, you know, it just so happened I drive a truck. That's what I do for a living. That's my full-time living. I drive a truck. That's, you know, it's a lot of things I can do. However, driving a truck is what I do, like what I'm comfortable doing for a living to pay my bills. You know, if I wanted to be a mechanic, I could, you know. It's a lot of things I can do. But the thing is, having something like this allows you to minimize the amount of breakdown time, shop time, because sometimes you really don't need to go in the shop. You know, sometimes you can hook up the scan tool, you can look at the live data, and you can analyze that live data, and the truck will give you an engine code right on the dash, and the scan tool will give you all the codes and stuff. This thing will show you all the codes. This thing will show you all the codes since the truck was built. It's got a historical code setting where it'll show you all the codes since the truck was built, and it'll show you the current codes that's like right now. And it does live. So you could be, see, if you had an issue where it only happens driving down the road. Any of you guys who work on stuff, you know what I'm talking about. It's like these funky issues that happens when you, like, say you driving and you get a sputter and you're trying to figure out what the hell is this sputter coming from. It happens intermittent. You don't know when it happens. Sometimes it happens. You can hook this thing up, put it on live mode, sit it up on the dash, drive down the road and look at what's going on. So when it does a sputter, you can say, oh, there are a few things that causes a sputter. In cars, I know it could be a spark plug wires. It could be a bad ground. It could be an injector. It could be a glitch in the ECM. Sometimes ECMs have glitches. Sometimes you might need to flash the ECM sometimes. You know, I mean, something like that, you have to go to the dealer and get that, unless you got a dealer level scan tool to flash the ECM. You know what I mean? But at least with something like this, you can get an idea on what's going on. Now with big diesel trucks, they don't have spark plugs. So when you get a sputter or something, I'm just saying, like, I'm just going and just giving you an idea on, like, okay, this will help you, you know, for $180, you know. And then they got different levels of scan tools. Like I was talking to another guy the other day. He was saying, like, he got a scan tool for $1,500. You don't need no subscription, because with some of these scan tools, to get access to dealer level settings, you got to subscribe plus buy the scan tool. And if you're not a full-time mechanic, it don't make sense, you know, to buy something like that. But for $1,500, I would buy a scan tool where you don't have to buy a subscription, and that, I think that's pretty cool. For how much it costs for one of them scanners, it's $180. Let me put the link in here so you can get it. Let me put the link in the video. Let me see here. I gotta go get the link. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to sell y'all nothing, okay? I know y'all feel like I'm trying to sell y'all something. I just want guys. Okay, I'm dropping the link in the video. So, hold on. I just want y'all, you know, so I'll just put the link in the video. Now you can get it. So if you're watching the video, it's a little arrow. You click the little arrow, the description menu will drop down, and you see the Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. Get it on Amazon. It's $180. Now, I know they got different models of this. They got different models. They got the NL102, and then they got the NL102P. You got to make sure you get the 102P. That's made for heavy duty trucks, because it's got that extra programming in it for big trucks to do the delta reprogramming, the delta sensors that are the sensors for the emissions and stuff. And then you can do a park regen and stuff, and you can clear codes. And it's got the settings for Detroit, Cummins, Suzuki, PACCAR, and all that stuff. So you want the NL102P, and that's what I recommend. So with that being said, for the Freightliner, like, I watched some videos of some other guys out there on YouTube that's done reviews on this scan tool. None of them said that you have to push the clutch down to do a regen. So I figured it out. It's not the switch on the dash. It's not my APU switch. So what you have to do, I kept playing around with it. Let me plug it in. Okay. Let me plug it in. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to turn the ignition on. Don't crank the truck up. Turn the ignition on. You go to HD. You go to HD DPF. Okay, and then you come to this menu right here. You got You got Max Force. You got Detroit, Cummins, Suzuki. Depending on the kind of engine you got, if you don't know what kind of engine you got, call up your truck manufacturer and tell them your VIN number, and they'll tell you what kind of motor you got in your truck. Most guys, they're either gonna have a Detroit, a Cummins, or a Packard engine. So those are the most popular big truck engines out here. Okay, you scroll down to I got a Detroit, so I'm gonna click on Detroit. And when you click on it, your speedometer, the hands on your dash might start bouncing around, moving around. And so what you do is, when you click on Detroit, you pump your clutch 1 or 2 times. You pump your clutch 1 or 2 times, and the menu will come up. Hold on, y'all. Let me crank the truck up. All right. And you go to Detroit. You pump the clutch. And then the menu will come up. It'll be a live menu. It'll say live. Let me see. I got 150. So your engine temperature should be at 150 degrees or more. It's got to be at 150 degrees. Operating temperature. All right. So once the live menu come up, you release the clutch, and then it'll come up with a menu that look like this. So right there it says press OK to start. It's gonna show you your RPMs, your air intake temperature, and you can scroll through, and this is live data. And so as the truck does the regen, you can watch what the truck is doing. Okay. And so that's and this and basically this is for the guys who got Freightliners. Because in the book, it don't say nothing about having a Freightliner and having to hold down the clutch pedal to go through the menu. It don't say nothing about that. It don't say nothing about that. But that's what you got to do. Yeah, make sure you get the 102P. Yeah, because it's got the big truck stuff on it. Because I know y'all gonna go in there and say, oh man, I can save some money. Why should I get this one? But you got to get the 102P because that's for the big trucks. It's got the big truck settings and stuff on it. You don't know what engine you got? Go to Uber Eats. Y'all stupid. What if your truck is an automatic? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a damn good question. I've never been a fan of automatic big trucks, but that's the same process, is it? Is it a great tool for Max Force? Yeah, it covers Max Force. Let me show y'all. It's got settings in here for Max Force. See that? See that Max Force? See that? There's Max Force up there. And I know some of y'all got them doggone Max Force. The Max Force motors, man, they always regen it. They always regen it. You like I had when I was a company driver, I had a Max Force day cab. It was an International Pro Star day cab. And all right, let me turn this truck off. I had a International Pro Star. It was a day cab. That's when I was driving local. Man, I'll be going somewhere around town somewhere, and then the truck start derating, and then you got to pull over and do a regen. You got to pull over and do a doggone regen, man. It don't matter because I was local. I ain't give a damn. I just pull over the side of the road, put my feet up on the dash. You know what I mean? I send my manager a message. Hey, man, I don't know, man. It's the truck regenning. It's gonna be about 30 minutes. Shoot. Yeah, Ricky Bobby, man, just click down in the description. I got the Amazon link down there, and you can buy one. You know, I don't want nothing from y'all, man. Like, I don't want nothing from y'all. I just when I know something and want to help guys, I'm just trying to help guys. I mean, I ain't trying to, I'm just trying to help guys. Because I mean, if you own your own truck, man, it just saves you a little bit of money. That's all. Just save you a little bit of time and money. Matter of fact, it saves you a lot of time and money. You don't want to be in the doggone shop every 5 minutes about something real stupid. Sometimes you don't really need to go in the doggone shop. You hook the thing up, and you can look at the codes and see, and you can go online and do your own research. Let me tell y'all something. As a shade tree mechanic, let me tell y'all something. Most mechanics out here really don't know. And the thing is, you guys, if you guys really don't know, but most mechanics don't know. And so basically, while your truck is in the shop, they research just like you would go and do research. They research while your truck is in the shop. I mean, sometimes some mechanics know. Like right when you pull your truck in, it's like, oh, okay, fix the problem, boom, you're on your way. But from my experience being a shade tree mechanic and knowing mechanics in my family, the diagnostic process of being a mechanic, it's you can do the same thing. It's like you can get this scan tool, hook the thing up to your truck. Even when you don't know, just go online and Google it. That's what mechanics do. I'm sorry to tell you. That's what they do. Yep. You're paying them to do that. You know? Now they have a certain skill set and the expertise in getting the work done. But from my experience, like I took cars to mechanic shops. I've taken trucks to mechanic shops. A lot of them guys, they 50-50. They kind of don't know. They be like, bring it on in. We'll see. We'll take a look at it. They really don't know. Until they put their scan tool on it and start putting their hands on it and start looking around, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's probably this right here. They really not sure. They're like, it's probably that right there. And so when they start digging into it, maybe something else. They'll go online. They have most mechanics, they have a resource. They go online, they got maybe a mechanics manual, and they start going online and they start referring to their database of information. They go online, either like if you're a Toyota mechanic, if you work for Toyota and you work on Toyotas, BMWs, Fords, you have access to parts database, repair database. Google. You just Google the stuff and be like, okay, what does code mean? Okay. And then you start to use your expertise and you start analyzing the situation. Like, okay. And you start narrowing it down to like one or two things. It's like, okay, it could be this or that. And then once you eliminate one or the other, is that right there. You fix it. And then it's like, oh yeah, that's the problem. That's what mechanics do. That's what mechanics do. And so, like I be trying to tell guys all the time, you do not need to take your truck down to the shop. It's not that hard. Common effing sense. My last video, I cussed a couple times. YouTube flagged that video. It's still up, but they flagged it. They gotta check it because I guess I cussed in it. But so I gotta watch my cussing because I don't want my videos getting flagged. But here's the deal. I be trying to talk to guys who own their own truck. I be seeing they like taking their truck into the shop all the time. I'm like, dude, you don't have to keep taking your truck in the shop. You can diagnose this stuff yourself. You got Google, YouTube, and if you Google around long enough, you can find there are a few. I bumped into Mercedes-Benz Detroit parts database. I bumped into a couple of those. It's hard to find, but I bookmarked them. So anytime I need to find like some parts, specific parts, part numbers, or something like that, I can go in there and like you can find bulletins. Sometimes like these companies, they'll put out bulletins. They'll have like a recall or something like that, or they'll change like procedures or something. You know what I mean? So they'll put out a bulletin, like a certain part, they change the part number or something, or they'll change how the repair process or something like that, or they change the oil filter, and like the oil filter is just slightly different, so they put a bulletin out to reflect that new part number. You know what I'm saying? And so y'all can do this stuff, man. Little small stuff. I ain't saying break down a motor, but a lot of this stuff, if it's just like a little sensor, $100, $150, $200 sensor, you don't have to break the motor down or knock sensor. Knock sensors are easy. You just pull the side cover off the side of the truck, and you get the little crow's foot. You get a crow's foot tool. It's offset. You get a crow's foot tool, and you hook it onto the ratchet. And you can pull the knock sensor off, put a new knock sensor, and go about your business. Ain't no point going to a shop paying them $1,500 to replace the knock sensor, man. It don't make no sense. You know, replacing just a lot of things, man. I mean, so to me, I mean, I just like to help guys, you know, and we work hard out here, run up and down the road for our money. You don't need to give it away. This stuff is easy, man. I was talking to one of my buddies, man, like his AC ain't working. And like I was on the phone with him for a couple hours trying to help him diagnose what's wrong with his AC. He been riding with no AC since December. Here it is, what, April? We in the middle of April. He's still riding around with no doggone AC. I'm like, man, when I had that issue, when my clutch was going bad, and my clutch went bad, and I replaced the condenser on the AC system, because when I was going through the process of diagnosing it, I found out that the condenser had a leak in it. Because you can see where the coolant start to come out at. It's like a little spot. It's wet and it collects dirt. You can see where it's leaking at. And you put dye in the system, you run the dye through the system, you can see where it's leaking at. I mean, AC systems are the same across all types of equipment, all types of vehicles, cars, houses, a refrigerator, AC system. They're all pretty much the same. They're slightly different. The sensors are slightly different, but the principle is the same. You got a coolant running through lines, transferring heat, and it's the same thing. And it's the same principle. And it could either be a few things that's wrong with the AC system: relay, a TXV valve, a condenser, a bad compressor, a clutch. I mean, this is all the same shit. Same stuff, man. Same stuff. And so I was on the phone with him, and he was just like, man, I was like, look, it's either one or two things. Either your coolant block is clogged up. If you look at an AC system, there's a block that controls the coolant. Inside that block, there's a valve in there that opens and closes and adjusts to the temperature outside. Sometimes that TXV valve gets blocked or whatever. I call it a TXV valve because in residential AC systems, but it's a block where you got the low side and the high side that goes in. Well, it's actually the high side and the low side. And so if you understand the principle of it, that thing gets blocked. Your bunk has one. Under your bunk, but under the gas tank, your bunk has one. There's a block that goes up into the heater core, into your bunk, and there's one that goes into the dash for the AC for the dash. It's the same thing. Sometimes they get blocked. And I told him either you can replace that, or if it ain't that, it maybe you have a bad compressor, or you got to check your coolant level. So I was telling him, okay, go to Harbor Freight and get you some gauges. Go to Harbor Freight, get you some gauges. They're like 15, 20 bucks. Get you some gauges. Because with the gauges, you can tell how much coolant you got in the system. Okay, you can check the high side and the low side, and what you do is you get the temperature outside and match that with the gauges. And so you can kind of diagnose, okay, if you got coolant in the system, you got the proper amount of coolant in the system. It's a foolproof system because the amount of coolant you're supposed to put in the truck, it's a little label right there on the truck. So you can't get that wrong. You ain't guessing. So if the truck requires 4.4 pounds, if the truck requires 4 pounds of coolant, you go to the store and you get the little things of coolant. You know, you're looking at about five little jugs, 5-6 jugs of coolant, 5 little things of coolant. And so for every 16 ounces, that's a pound, man. And so you make sure you have enough coolant in the system. You measure it, okay? And you go through and you just diagnose the thing. This ain't about AC system. The point is that you guys can do this stuff. If you own your own truck, these are things that you can do. It's not that hard. Do some research, educate yourself, and I just be trying to, help guys. Since we out here pulling this freight, we out here running, trying to make money, and you don't need to be giving it away to the shop. Try to keep as much money as you can. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you just got to get a tow, and that's just what it is, and take your truck into the shop. That's just what it is. But if you can limit that, going in there for every little small thing, get a little scan tool, man, and save you. That thing will pay for itself in like first time you need it. They are saying coronavirus is causing more divorces. They crazy. Y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy. Can you do a force regen with that tool? Yes, you can. The link down in the description. Go buy one. It's 180 bucks. It costs you $300 diagnostic fee to go to Freightliner. So, how to get in touch with you. I have a couple questions. Email me at 404trucker@gmail.com, man. Email me. Luther Hines said in Spencerville, one in the front and one on the back. Yeah, man. What's up, Luther? What's going on, Luther? What's going on, Luther? We had a good discussion in the last video talking about pulling a dollar mile freight. What's going on, Luther? Yeah, so that's it, man. That's it. I think I'm gonna probably invest in one of them scan tools that don't have the subscription. That would probably be the next step above this one, because you got the low level scan tools, the ones you get from Discount Auto Parts. Don't waste your time with them. You need a scan tool that does live view, that allows you to, because I know my scan tool at the house, I don't know what happened, y'all. The video crapped out. But I know my scan tool at the house, I paid like $100 for it, 120 bucks for it. It's an automotive scan tool. It's just a basic scan tool. But what it does is it allows you to see live view, and allows you to see fuel trims. It allows you to see all the data. It'll you can put a graph up there. Like this one allows you to read a graph too. This one puts a graph on the screen too. And so if you got an issue that only comes up just driving down the road, that's good, because you can put it in live view. You can put it in live view and put it on like a certain you can put it on like fuel trims or something like that, or you can put it on I forgot. shoot, I don't use it all the time, but you can put it on a setting to where you can watch the spark plugs or something like that. The spark, you can watch all the like say if you got a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, you can watch all the cylinders fire. Okay. And you can just watch that graph. If you just watch the graph, and if it's just like going straight, and you see like when you driving down the road and you get like a hiccup, and you watch the graph and go juke, juke, that's it. And all you got to do is just backtrack and figure out, okay, on the graph, which cylinder is that giving you a misfire, or it's got low compression or something like that, or your vehicle might have low compression, and so you got to, and then so you get one of them adapters, and then you can do a compression test. It's the same thing that you use to say if you got a blown head gasket or something like that. You just do a compression test on that chamber. You gotta make sure it's in top dead center and do a compression test. And so that could give you an indication on whether you might be experiencing a blown head gasket, or it could be a bad spark plug, or piston rings going bad. But you getting on the right track, and that's what all mechanics do, man. It ain't that complicated. I be trying to tell y'all, But so that's what I meant to talk about. About the scan tool. That's what this video is mainly about. The doggone scan tool. But what's going on out there with y'all? Y'all like they're running? I got this load here going down to Orlando. It ain't paying nothing. It's paying $1,000 to go to Orlando. Ain't nothing out here paying. But I see loads on here paying $1,000 to go to Miami. That ain't even. That's trash, man. That is trash. Trucker@gmail.com. Lows out here trash. Got to find a load coming back up to Atlanta. Find a load. Get me a load coming back up to Atlanta. But I mean, yeah, the freight ain't paying good out here. I mean, right now I figure I just run just to cover my minimum expenses. As long as I can cover my minimum expenses, I'll be all right. It ain't really much out here. I mean, it's a bunch of loads out here, just they're not paying. They're not paying much. They're not paying much. Mm. This dude here got a reefer. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking at this load board, trying to figure out what's going on with this load board. Gotta update this. Gotta update all these apps, man. But yeah, so I cleared my engine code, and I did a regen, and so hopefully if the code pop back up, then I'm gonna go ahead and clean the I'm gonna clean the knock sensors, because sometimes the knock sensors are not bad, they just need to be cleaned. You know, oxygen sensors, all of them. You can just clean them. Get some carburetor cleaner. Um, Let them sit in the carburetor cleaner for about a few hours. Clean it off. Put it back in there and see what happens. If you still keep getting the code, then just go ahead and pony up the money and go ahead and pony up the money and go ahead and get a new knock sensor. I was online, and I think you can buy a knock sensor for about it looks like about $200. Looking at about $200. They got Lowe's in Savannah for 90 cents. You gonna lay down for a week? Yeah. I mean, you know, you're a grown man, you do what you want to do, but I say you don't need to come out here and run hard. Just come out here and run a little bit just to cover expenses. That's all. I mean, $1 a mile. Because my whole thing is, I don't want to burn. I don't want to burn through. I don't want to burn through my checking account. So that, like, even with pay for equipment and money in the bank, you don't want to burn through your reserves. That's kind of silly to me. But just come out here and move a couple loads, and have a couple dollars coming in, and just to cover minimum expenses and keep the lights on at the house. And so, like I said before, including my house bills and my truck bills, all I need is $300 a day. That's all I need. That's all I need. $300 a day times 5. All I need is about gross $1,500 for the week. That's all I need. I mean, that's minimum. But some guys, I mean, the thing is with a lot of guys, it's most guys act like women. They run their truck like women. And when I say that like women, they're not running their business like business people. They're not thinking business. It's pure emotion, like a woman. And so they'll be like, oh, I ain't gonna do that. Oh, 90 cents. I ain't gonna do that. It's like, man, dude, the reality is you still gotta pull something just to cover your minimum expenses. It's really dumb to just not run at all when you have minimum expenses to cover. That's really dumb. I don't know. That's dumb. I'm sorry. Mathematically, there's nothing wrong with just pulling a couple loads for about 1,500 or 2,000. Just say just 2,000. Okay, like last week I made $2,800 last week. I made $2,800 last week, gross. All right. My fuel bill was $500. So my minimum expenses, my expenses are $700 a week, and my fuel bill was $500. So that's $1,200 in expenses. So that leaves me with $1,200 or $1,300 for the week. I mean, and you know, I mean, I pulled about 3 loads last week. I mean, for some guys, they would have been like, man, I ain't pulling that. No, I ain't. Because one of the loads I pulled was less than $1 a mile. One of the loads I pulled was like, I think it was like 80 cents a mile. The other 2 loads, they were like $2 a mile plus $2.25 a mile, something like that. The other load I pulled, I think that load paid like $4.50 or something. It was a short run. I think I did a video when I did that load. It was a short run. The load went like 30 miles or something. And so, I mean, y'all can run y'all truck how y'all want to, but me personally, it's just business. It ain't really, you know, it's not really that complicated, you know, because you don't want to burn through reserves. And if you don't do nothing as a business, like, you're going to burn through. And like, I'd rather keep what I got rather than to like not do nothing and then burn through your reserves trying to make a point. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of guys, they're trying to make a point. They're trying to be macho and they're trying to be emotional about it and trying to make a point. Like you just one truck. There are like 3 million trucks out here. There are hundreds of thousands of trucking companies out here. You're not proving not one point. There are thousands of trucking companies out here. There are thousands, millions of businesses out here. You're not proving that one point. You're not proving a point. I'm sorry. You're not making a dent. Your point is being unseen. They don't care. The best thing you can do is just take care of yourself. I mean, you sitting up there being like these guys being Brody, man. I'm gonna sit home for the week. Okay, cool. Fine. But just understand you have a burn rate. Whatever your burn rate is your minimum expenses per week, per month. And you have to meet those. And so even if you don't cover your minimum expenses, that's money you're going to have to eat. And plus, when you don't run, you have to make that money up the following week and the week after that, and you're not going to do it. The best thing you can do is just come out here, run a few loads just to cover your minimum expenses and go home. Run a couple of loads to do 2,000 and go home. You know, you ain't going to do 5,000 this week. But hell, at least you covering your minimum expenses and you're not burning through your money. Your reserves. That's how I look at it. I mean, you know, that's just how I look at it. And some guys be trying to prove a point. You busy trying to prove a point. Stop trying to prove a point and look yourself in the mirror and say, well, I'm just gonna have to go out here and pull a couple of loads and go on home. Nobody said you gotta pull that load for $1 a mile. Nobody ain't say all that. But hell, if you go on the load boards, you can find a couple loads around you paying $2 a mile, going out and back. You don't want to go too far because you're gonna end up deadheading back because there ain't gonna be nothing out there. But you can go out and come back. You don't have to leave the state. Run a load over here paying 300, 400 over here, and and run a couple loads here and put these loads together. And I mean, yeah, you could do 2,000, 2,500 for the week. I don't know. That's just, you don't want to sit there and do nothing. This is how I see it. I don't know. That's just me looking at my spreadsheets and just be like, okay, I have minimum expenses here. Okay. Let me just do this much so I can just cover that minimum. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys, they get all prideful about it and be like, man, I ain't working for free. Well, face it. You just gonna have to face it because you are working for free. I'm sorry. Like all this pride y'all got, man. Y'all are a trip. Y'all are a doggone trip. This pride y'all got is something else, man. Well, I ain't pulling no load for 90 cents a mile. I ain't gonna do it. No. Okay, sit your ass home then. Shit. Charles Swinger said, I run a day cab, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. Yeah, I bumped into a few guys. I mean, I don't know how they do that unless you got a dedicated account. You got, direct shippers and whatnot, but I mean, I bumped into a few guys. Because what they do is they get around the 16th hour rule because they're in a day cab and they going back home. I talk to guys that deadhead home a lot because they get to use the 16th hour rule and because they're in a day cab. But I mean, me personally, getting home isn't such a priority to me because there's really no point in like busting your ass just to go home to lay your head in the bed for 2 hours, then have to get back up, then jump back in the truck, then you running the risk of being late to a load and you tired and no, man, no, that cut the crap, man, cut the shit. I mean, you got to be real with yourself. You are in a transportation industry. That's it. You don't work at a bank. If you want an 8 to 5 job, why don't you sell your damn truck and go work at a bank? Go work at Amazon. If you want set hours, 8 to 5, a salary, go work at a fucking bank. Like y'all, it's like I bump into guys. Y'all are amazing, man. Y'all are amazing. Y'all want to work 8 to 5. No doubt, I want to work 8 to 5. But at the same time, I'm committed to my truck. I'm committed to my truck, man. I have to do it, It's either that or sell the truck. And you just gotta do it. I mean, guys be boasting about going home every day and like y'all making $1,000 a week. Like, really? You making $1,000 a week? with your own truck. I'm bumping the guys that make less than that. There's no way I'm making $1,000 a week. There's no way with my own truck. There's no way. There's no way, man. You putting up too much doggone risk for that. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing it. And so, I mean, shoot. I mean, I do $1,000 a week as a company driver, man. Come on now. Y'all gotta cut it out. Let me see what y'all saying in here. I use Dorf load board with my day cab. I go on there with Blue Moon, but for what I've been seeing, Dorf load board, those loads on there, they're old loads. And all the times that I called on loads on there, those loads expired. They're old loads. I mean, it may be one or two good loads on there, but from my experience, those loads are like old. You want loads like you want a load board to where like the DAC board, where it's a live load board and those loads are active and they're the brokers and the shippers and receivers are actively on the board and they pull the loads down as guys book the load. Like, I don't know, this is my experience. I'm just telling you my experience. I may be wrong, may be crazy, but you may be successful with that board. I'm just telling from my experience. You in Paris? Wow. It's crazy. But I mean, if I had my own authority, I wouldn't get a day cab. I wouldn't suggest anybody get a day cab to run their own truck, unless you got a direct shipper or unless you got a dedicated account. If you got a direct shipper and you got 2-3 trailers, you drop 2-3 trailers at a customer, and you got a day cab, that could work. Or you got an agreement with a place where you run freight in and out, and you can control when you pick the freight up, I would do that. But most of the loads out here, when you're an independent carrier, small carrier, 1, 2, 3 trucks, most guys don't have that. And so you got to be readily available for the freight. And so that means having a sleeper truck, because you don't know what's going to be available to you and you don't know what's going to be around you. You might have to sleep and you know, and so you know, in a day cab, you don't know where you're going to be at and you're going to run out of hours. The day cab only works if your house sits in between your running lane. So if your house sits in between your running lanes, it's perfect, because then you can always be running by the house. Okay. And if you park your truck at your house, that's perfect, because that's not a second step you have to do. Like with me, I have 2 steps I have to do to go home. So I have to park my truck at the yard, get my stuff, then go home. That's a lot. Now, if I park my truck at the house, see, that's different. Because then I can just park the truck, jump right out, go in the house and go to bed. Or I can go in there and cook dinner or what have you. So that could work. But when you got a 2-3 step process to go home, ain't gonna work. It could work. You could do it. It's just difficult. Everybody knows in trucking, you got to put in 12, 13, 14 hours a day to make something work. You know, it's very few guys out here that's working 7, 8 hours and making tons of money where, you know, I'm not the type of guy that's here. I'm not the type of guy that's cool with making $1,000 a week. $1,000 a week don't do nothing for me. I'm trying to set myself up with retirement. I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to build assets. I'm trying to set myself up to have a cool retirement. I'm not the kind of guy that's just cool and chill with making $1,000 a week. I'm just not cool with that. You know, a lot of you guys get this whole thing misunderstood, thinking like, oh, well, my truck paid for and my bills is low, so I don't have to work hard. Dude, you can only drive that truck for so long. And when you not able to drive that truck, I don't know what you're going to do. You don't have nothing to fall back on. You need to be building a plan B, plan C. So when it's time for you to get up out that truck, you can. You know, have a side hustle. You know, have something to fall back on so you can pay your bills or something. Self-employed people, like, that's something you have to do. You have to build that into your retirement plan. You can't just be out here with a truck and trailer just running around, man. You have to have a plan. Okay, you got to have a fucking plan. Okay, and $1,000 a week ain't gonna get you that plan. It's not gonna get you. Now, if you're a company driver, okay, you put half your check in the doggone retirement plan. I know some of you guys can't do that because you got these bills. You got a big ass house that you don't live in. You on the road. You on the road 250. You on the road 300 days out of the year. Why do you need a big ass house for? You got this big ass pickup truck that sits at the terminal, at the yard, or in your driveway. You never driving the motherfucker. Why do you got this big old truck, $50,000 truck, eating up your damn money? The damn thing depreciating. You paying interest on it. You glorifying paying cash for it, but it's depreciating. You ain't making no money with it. It don't make sense. You got the newest iPhone. You got the newest iPhone come out every 6 months. $1,500 phone that come out every 6 months. This phone that I'm doing my video on, this phone cost me $200, man. It's a Motorola G7 Power. $200. I pay cash for it. I know y'all like to pay cash. I pay cash for my phone. I pay cash. I mean, this tablet right here, I think I paid $120 for that tablet. Y'all need to stop this. These phones, all this junk y'all waste y'all money on, it's not gonna save you when you're 60 years old. It ain't. It just ain't. You know, like guys, I be talking to guys like they want to get in these back and forths with me. It's like, fine, man, dude, live your life how you want to live it. Live your life how you want to live it. But don't come calling me when you 55, 60 years old. You know, you got to work at Walmart as a greeter. Don't come calling me, because I told you. The shit coming. You can act like living your life and all this shit. You can do all that shit you want, but when you're 60 years old, it's gonna get real. It's gonna be too late. Ain't damn thing you can do about it. You can't expedite your savings at 60. Oh man, I gotta save for retirement. You 60. You had 30 years to do it. It's too late, dog. It's too late. You can't wind back the hands of time. You can't. It's too damn late. I'm sorry. I've been telling y'all. If you don't know how to invest in mutual funds, if you don't know how to invest in stocks, if you don't know nothing about real estate, if you don't know nothing about investing in anything, learn how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. Nobody in my family is wealthy. Nobody in my family comes from that background. Nobody in my family got businesses. Nobody in my family has got big ass retirements. Nobody in my family, nobody except my brother, my oldest brother. He went into the military at 18. And, he's retired now. He gets a pension plan, and he's got a good life. He done well for himself. But that's it. And my sister, she went into the military. And she's retired. She get a pension. I forgot how much money she get. She get like I don't want to put a business out here, but it's enough money to live. Okay? Not everybody can work for the government. That's fine. But that don't mean you need to go out like a punk. There's no reason that you won't be able to save 15% of your money. Me personally, I like to save half my money. I can't do it all the time, but I like to save half of everything I get. Because I see it that much more important. I don't give a damn about shoes. I don't give a damn about what you got on. I don't care what you're driving. I really don't give a damn. Because at the end of the day, 90% of y'all watching me don't have no money in the bank, don't have no assets, don't have nothing. We're not giving the conversations with guys. We're not having real conversations because you don't have nothing. What are we talking about? You don't have nothing. You don't own nothing, no assets, nothing. It's like I be on the phone with guys. I be in emails with guys. You can call me bougie. You can call me an asshole. But the thing is, my point is, it's like, what are we arguing about? You don't have nothing. I be on the phone with guys, be emailing guys. You want to talk about rate per mile and detention and all this dumb shit. It's just like, but you don't have nothing. So I mean, all this stuff don't mean nothing. Having to pay for a truck don't mean nothing. Unless you taking the savings from a pay for a truck and putting it into a retirement plan. Real estate, stocks, mutual funds. Saving money on fuel don't mean nothing unless you have putting it into a retirement plan. What's the point of saving on fuel? What's the point of having to pay for a truck? What's the point of getting your own truck? What's the point of getting your own authority? What's the point of saving on insurance? What's the point of paying cash for anything unless you putting it away? The savings, the whole point is to take all that savings and just to put it in the doggone retirement plan. If you're not putting in a retirement plan, you might as well just go in and just live your life then. Just live your life. What's the point? Okay. This stimulus check that everybody getting, $1,200. What y'all gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? $1,200. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? Huh? I'm trying to get my own truck. What do you recommend in terms of financing? I try to shoot for something like $1,000 a month. I try to shoot for like $1,000 a month on a 36 or 48 month note. $1,000 a month. And I know that it's not going to get you much of a truck. You're probably looking at a truck about 40,000. Anywhere 30 to 40,000. You can find a truck out there about 30, 40,000. And that $1,000 a month is essentially financing you're going to get through a community bank or a credit union. You know, that's essentially what you're going to do. Don't go out there and get no note 15, 16, 1,700 or $2,000 a month. No, don't do it. Because you want that payment low, and when times is good, that means you can throw double, triple payments on it. Okay? I mean, if you find somebody that help you finance a truck about $1,100, $1,200, you can do it. You can go ahead and do it. 8%, anywhere from 5 to 8% interest rate. That's, you can do it. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. Right. It's business, man. It's business. It's business. And so you gotta understand it. It's like I keep saying business, like a lot of y'all don't understand what I'm saying. So like when you got a payment that low, and like say you want to take off for a month, and you got 20, 30,000 cash in the bank, you can do that. No sweat. Okay? And so it's I mean, I'm glad I went and refinanced my truck. Lone Mountain, I mean, they got some all right trucks in there, but the financing ain't too favorable. I mean, I've seen some of them trucks, they going for $1,500 a month. But I just take your time, man, and just don't get in a hurry. It's because running a truck is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So it's a lot of work. But yeah, so like I was saying, like I bump into guys, they talking about, man, I got an 800 credit score. I got a 700 credit score. I do too. I got a 760 credit score. And like, you ain't doing shit with it. I mean, real talk, like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? You ain't doing nothing with it. You ain't doing nothing with it. Really? I mean, you're not really doing nothing with it. I bump in the guy and be like, man, I got a 750, I got 800 credit score, 900,000 credit score. Like, so? Are you gonna buy a truck? You gonna go buy some real estate? You gonna buy an apartment building? You walking around with a badge of honor that don't mean nothing. To me, that's how I see it. To me, anybody can get an 800 credit score. Anybody. That's how I feel about it. I'm 40 points away from an 800 credit score. Anybody can get it because all you got to do is do some research on the algorithm, on the credit bureau's algorithm, and understand how credit works. In about 2-3 years, you can have an 800 credit score. When I first got into real estate and when I first got into this business credit stuff, my credit score was like 600. Like, I don't remember, it was like 620. Like, knowledge is power, man. Like, it's like, I'm like, man, what are we talking about? And this particular person doesn't like borrowing money. I was on the phone with him. Like, this particular person does not like borrowing money. So you boasting about an 800 credit score when you don't borrow money anyway. You're not going to go out there and go buy, you're not going to buy a 10-unit apartment building. That's what I would use my 800 credit score for. I'd go out there and buy an apartment building. That's what I would do. I would do all the research I can and try to find out the lending guidelines for commercial property. Okay? If you have equity in a house, you got some cash in the bank or something like that, you need about 100,000. You need about 150,000. Okay? You want to buy a 10-unit apartment building, you're going to need a good credit score. And they're going to look at your credit score. They're going to look at your cash. They're going to look at your experience in the business. Okay? And so, like, my goal is to get about 150,000 cash, because that's my goal. I want to get a 10-unit apartment building. That's my goal. That's why I come out here and run $5,000 a week. Well, I be trying to tell y'all, I be running. I be having guys pick on me. But that's because I have a goal. You don't have, like, I be looking at other guys. I be like, man, the reason why you think that way is because you don't have any goals. You at the house chilling. I'm talking to you, Luther. Luther in here. Where he at, Luther? Yeah, man, I'm going to chill for the week. Because you don't have any goals. People who have goals, they don't chill for the week. That pride, that you don't have any goals. You know? Like, if I was to go home, I'll be miserable. Because I'll be sitting like, damn. Like, shit. Like, all the shit I'm missing out, right? Like, I'll be mad at myself. You know? Like, I was like, fuck, I got to get out here and do something. I got to move around and shit. Fuck. You know, I don't feel comfortable sitting still. I was just like, shit. You know? And like I be trying to tell y'all, need to read, get you some goals. It's like, my goal is to get a 10-unit apartment building. I mean, I want more, but certain things I feel like that's obtainable, that I can reach realistically, like, yeah, I can get a 5 or 10 unit. You got to learn the lending guidelines and understand what the banks are looking for. You know, you got 800 credit score, that's great. You got cash in the bank, that's great. You got collateral, that's even better. Okay? You got business experience. They want to know how much experience you got. You come into a bank with spreadsheets. We got your P&Ls, you got your income statement, you got a balance sheet, and you come in there and show them with what kind of vision you got. Man, please, they'll give you all the money you want. You know, because they're banking on you being able to manage the asset. If you can show them that, okay, the return on investment is X amount of dollars, you're good. That's all they want to see. 10-unit apartment building that make $12,000 a month, got $4,000 or $5,000 in expenses. I'm gonna make $5,000 or $6,000 gross a month. That's all they want to see. If you don't know how to do that and manage that, you don't even know how to have intelligent conversation about ROI, return on investment, income statement, expenses. You don't even know. It's like I be trying to tell y'all to get a doggone spreadsheet. That's the game. Go down to the bank, they give you anything you want. But y'all want to boast about, oh, I got a 900 credit score. It don't mean shit, man. It really don't. It really don't. I mean, you can buy a house with a 580 credit score. I mean, it really don't. It don't. Credit scores are for consumer products. Okay? Credit scores are for consumer products. If you want to buy a car and you want a 1% interest rate, you want to buy a house that you live in, that's what credit scores are for. Car insurance. We talking about commercial stuff that's used to make money. They don't care about your fucking credit score. They'll look at it. They'll be like, oh, yeah, that's cute. You got a little 800 credit score, but how much cash do you got in the bank? Do you have any assets? Do you know how to manage? What's the ROI on this investment? Can you have intelligent business conversation with these people? Y'all be getting me upset. But I just be telling y'all the truth. I be telling y'all the truth. You know, Ed would say, what he say? Don't just depend on the banks. Find you some investors. That's the key. Yeah. You find you some investors with some deep pockets. That's called building your relationships and your building your relationships and your network. You know, I've had Martha Apartments since 2006. Keep your money, use somebody else's money, not yours. That's right. That's right. Because it essentially, like with real estate, which is kind of cool, which like with real estate, it's kind of like if you learn how to manage the properties, it's free fucking money. It's just free. It's free money. It's free. Because you can borrow the money, right? You can go borrow the money, acquire the property. You acquire the property. You get deed to it. You get title to it. Okay, fix it up. Now you got to hold the money. The money is in limbo, so to speak. The money is in limbo. However you acquired the money, you got some investors, you got some banks or whatever. You acquired the asset. You fix it up, put tenant in it. Now the tenant is paying the rent. You ain't even worrying about it no more. It's free. You know, you got your credit on the line a little bit. You got your name and your credibility on the line. Maybe borrow against your money once or twice, but find investors in bigger projects like 150, 500 units are very attainable and can build generational wealth. Yeah, man. But see that the thing is, you got to work up to it. You know, you got to work up to it. Your mindset is never gonna be available to allow yourself to think that's possible to acquire 100 or 500 unit apartment complex. You get what I'm saying? Your mindset is always going to be this small mindset, scared, fearful mindset, thinking like, nah, I can't do that. It takes a lot to do it. Nah, you can be mind fucking yourself. You ain't gonna never allow yourself to get out of your own way to do it. And so, like I know, like with me, trucking was an avenue for me to do that. Trucking was an avenue for me to do that. You get what I'm saying? So trucking was an avenue that allowed me to open my mind up to the idea of doing those kinds of deals. Ain't nobody in my family got no money, man. I mean, this trucking thing allowed me to make a certain amount of money to allow me to feel comfortable doing certain types of deals. Like I ain't never spent $30,000-$40,000 cash on nothing ever in my life up to this point. You know what I mean? I never held that amount of money in my hand before. Never. Until I got into running this truck, doing real estate and stuff like that. And so for me, it's comfort in knowing that you are capable of doing such of a deal. You know what I mean? And being able to sign on the dotted line for such deals, you know, and being able to do something, you know. Edward said I own both in America and Thailand, Philippines. Yeah, man, that's good, man. That's real good, man. Shoot. They gotta be realistic goals. Yeah. Yeah, it's all in your mind, man. It's all in your head. All these goals out here are obtainable goals. You know, I talk to guys like, man, you can't start no fleet. They come up with all these excuses. I'm like, man, you don't know what you capable of. Like you downplaying yourself. You have no idea what you capable of. You know? No idea what you capable of. You know, you gotta try. At least try some. You know? You gotta try some. But yeah, so I got an hour and 42 minutes on here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video. I know I get in these rants. I start ranting and talking, and I don't know, man. That's just my style, man. That's what I be doing. So, but hey, I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. I see y'all next time.